In 800 BC, the great city of Athens began its imperial phase. By the time of Pericles, Athens had become the dominant force in Greece. But this didn't come without its rivals. The main one being Sparta, a militaristic society that was threatened by the rise of Athenian power. Tensions between the two eventually boiled over into war, which would become known as the Peloponnesian War. Let's get into it. The Peloponnesian War was fought between two main factions. On the one side, you had the Delian League, led by Athens, which at its peak included 150 member states. On the other side, you had the Peloponnesian League, dominated by Sparta, which boasted around 70 members. The Spartans were led by two kings, Aegisthus and Cleomenes, while Athens was led by a group of 10 generals. The war is traditionally dated to 431 BC, when the Athenians decided to invade Melos. However, there were earlier conflicts between the two sides, such as the revolt of the Ionian cities against the Persians in 499 BC, which Athens helped to put down. Then there was the conflict with the Scythians along the northern coast of the Black Sea in 479 BC, which Sparta also got involved in, so while 431 is usually cited as the start of the war, it is more accurate to say that the war was the result of growing tensions between the two powers. Since the 5th century, during the first phase of the war, the Athenians, led by Pericles, implemented a strategy known as the Long Walls. This involved the construction of two massive defensive walls. These walls surrounded the city of Athens and connected it to the port of Piraeus. This made it so that the Spartans couldn't lay a siege to the city. And since Athens had a navy, the Athenians could still go out to sea and acquire food. Despite this, the war dragged on for another 26 years. The turning point came when the plague hit Athens. Thucydides, who was one of the generals during the war, wrote that the entire population of the city, including the countryside, was depopulated. A generation was lost to the plague. After the plague, the leadership of Athens fell into the hands of those generals who were eager to end the war, such as Nicias. However, there were still hardliners such as Cleon, who wanted to continue the fight against Sparta. Cleon would eventually convince the Athenians to launch a disastrous campaign against Melos, which resulted in the complete destruction of the island. Following this, Cleon would be killed in battle against the Spartans. With the death of Cleon and the implementation of the Long Walls, the war would eventually end in 404 BC with the total defeat of Athens.